Hello everybody, my name's Steve and today we're going to have fun with welding. Now what welding is something that we use heat to join materials together, such as steel. Now many of the buildings and structures around us are built with welded steel, such as towers, cranes, bridges and many other structures. But we're not going to use steel today. We're going to have fun with chocolate. Now to have fun welding with chocolate, we're going to need some chocolate bars. But I can't see any. Chocolate bars. I quite like these. They're nice and small and they're easy to have fun with, and they're not very expensive either. Now we also need some heat, because we need heat to weld chocolate bars together. So for our heat, what I've got here is a mug, and all it contains is hot water. Now, if we touch the outside of the mug, it really is quite hot, and that'll be hot enough to weld our chocolate bars together. Now, after we've done some welding, what we also need is something just to hold our chocolate bars in place. So what I've made is a small frame, and this is simply cardboard container with some notches cut out like a V. Now what you'll see is that when we've welded our chocolate, the shapes that we make can rest in the frame. So let's start welding. Here's my hot cup, and I've got some chocolate bars out of the wrappers. And what we're going to do is take the edges of these chocolate bars and just gently rub them along the sides of the mug. And we can see this slippery surface, this melted chocolate, and that's just enough that we can join them at an angle like this. So we've made a V shape. Now I'm just going to sit that in there and let it set. So what we'll do next, we'll take some more chocolate bars and make some more V shapes. But to let them set properly, what we really need to do is to put them in the fridge for about 15 minutes or so. So here we are 15 minutes later, and I have two V shapes of chocolate. Now the fun starts. This is quite tricky, so don't be upset that you can't do it the first time. It does take a bit of practice. Now what I'm going to do is take each of these V shapes and join them together by welding to make a box like this. And we're going to do it in exactly the same way by using our hot surface of the mug. So a little bit of rubbing here, and we can see all the smudges of hot chocolate, and we can just carefully place these together and we'll make a nice square section. And again, I'm going to let this set in the fridge for another 15 minutes or so. There. So while those chocolate pieces are in the fridge, just chilling and hardening, let's talk about why we have structures welded together. Let's look at this ordinary chocolate bar by itself. Now out of the wrapper we can see it's very, very thin on one form, but it's also quite flat on another form. So it's thin and flat. And what we know when we break chocolate is if we just apply a little bit of force this way, it will break down the middle. But it's quite difficult to try and break it this way because it's actually stronger down this way than it is along this way. So we're going to have a fun time by just trying to find out exactly how strong this chocolate bar is. So what I'm going to do now is clear all this away and set up a little experiment, just so as we can see how strong this chocolate bar is. This is the fun part. Yummy. Back in a bit. So I've been busy while you've been away, and what I've done, I've got together lots of tins from my cupboard, and I've weighed all of the tins so I know how heavy they are, and I've put the weights on the front. So here we can see this one's around 200 grams. Some are a little heavier. This is 300. Many of these are 400 grams. And what I've also done, I've set up two tins here, and these are about 70 millimeters apart. And the reason I've done that is because we can take a single chocolate bar and just put it between the two. So it makes a little bridge. Now what we're going to find out is just how much weight can this single chocolate bar take. So let's start with 300 grams. Now I'm just going to balance this right over the chocolate. That's 300 grams. And it's doing okay. So let's up this a little bit. Let's try another 200. It's taking that okay. How about another 400? Oh, and it's starting to buckle. I think that chocolate bar might just be all right. Let's try another 200. Oh, it's going, I can feel it. And there it goes. So we've got 200, 400, that makes 600. Another 200, that's 800. And 300, that's 1100 grams, 1.1 kilos. And look, just look what's happened to our poor little chocolate bar. We've destroyed it. The weight it could take was just about 1100 grams and it gave way. So we've seen how much weight our single bar can take. Now while I've been away, I've also been welding more chocolate together. So I have a box section so far. I also have two bars welded together back to back. So let's see how strong those are. Let's set them up in exactly the same way, line up my two notches. Let's see how strong these are. Let's start with the 300 grams like we did before. Okay, there's 300. Another 200. 500 so far. Another 400. So we're up to 900. It's just quite difficult getting them stuck together. 900, another 200. Now that's the same strength that we had before. Shall we see if we can keep going? How about another 400? Oh, there's 400. And it's still standing. How about that? Now I don't want to go any higher because I'm going to have a very big tower, and as you can see it's not very stable. So I'll dismantle this and we can still see that our two chocolate bars are still quite strong stuck together. Now we could repeat this and add another chocolate bar and another chocolate bar, so we could have 3 and we could have 4. But I think this helps you understand that when we weld pieces together like chocolate, we're adding strength. So why don't you have a go at home, see if we can get some small chocolate bars, a mug of hot water, weld the edges together to make shapes like boxes or even H sections. So we could have 2 pieces, one like this, another one in the middle, another one along the top. Now that might be quite difficult to do, but have a go so you can see how that looks. We can also have fun with triangles, putting 2 triangles together side by side, see how strong they are. We can even make long spans by just putting chocolate together like this. And we can add another one like this and see how strong they are. Simply take some cans out of the cupboard, weigh them all using the kitchen scales just to get an idea of how heavy they are. Some actually have the weights marked on them, which is really helpful. But most important of all, have fun at home by welding with chocolate. Bye bye.